training's going well for the fight. Busy, making a lot of progress. The weight, Lewis, is finally starting to come off. So that is a big relief to me. For about the last 3 weeks now, I kept getting on the scale and just screaming, fuck, because it didn't seem to be moving. But it is coming down now, 211, 212, somewhere around that, with still 5 weeks left. So that's good. That's going well. Training's going well. Feeling good. Feeling great. Getting a lot of good sparring, a lot of good wrestling in. A lot of distractions, though, mind you. This is a big fight. So seems we have a camera crew with us every single bloody day, which, if you learn to block it out, isn't too much of a distraction, but it is a bit of a pain in the ass. But I guess it's a necessary evil. But yeah, things are going well. Going on Conan O'Brien Wednesday night, so that should be fun.
I saw that. Have you done late night before?
Never. Yeah, first time. So yeah, that should be a lot of fun.
That's funny. I was just at Conan on Wednesday because Big J, my other co-host of Legion of Skanks, just did the panel on Conan. Now you're doing the panel on Conan. I think there's a common denominator here.
It's all because of you, Lewis.
Yeah, well, I was going to say it's because you guys are both very talented, but
No. It's simply because we're all associated to Luis J. Gomez. By the way, not that I don't have better things to do, but I think I figured out why you're called Gas Digital. Is it because it's Gomez and Sutton?
Holy
I cracked the code. I cracked the code. Can you believe it?
There we go. Michael Bisping, put it all together. This is it. You actually just won 30% of the company. The first person to do it.
Unbelievable.
We promised each other that if somebody cracked the code, they would actually get a third of the company. So welcome to the podcasting business, Michael Bisping.
Yeah, so anyway, we got Conan O'Brien Wednesday night. Of course, Ronda's been on there, Connor's been on there, Nate Diaz as well. So I was hitting Dana up about that for a while. It looks like the UFC came through because, we want to sell pay-per-views. And the way to do that is to get it across to, I don't want to say mainstream because that's, such an overused term, but I guess, people that don't generally buy pay-per-views, that's what we're targeting. I think UFC 217 generally, people that buy UFC pay-per-views are pretty much going to buy this.
Yes,
of course, you got GSP coming back, you got Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Rose Namajunas, you've got the other South fight, Garbrandt and Dillashaw. Plus, it's a stacked card. Anyone who buys UFC pay-per-views, they're going to buy it. What we want is people that loose, casual fans, or even people that have never watched it before, to maybe see me on something like Conan and say, "Holy shit!" Let's give this a try. Let's check it out. So that's the whole idea. So we've got that Wednesday night. That's good.
Do you know
Friday? Go on.
I was going to say, do you know what stories you're going to tell? Because they preemptively go over all that stuff with you, right? They ask you what you're going to like. Did you pick out what you're going to talk about?
No, not yet. So Tuesday we have a production call because I was kind of curious about that. I thought they're just going to throw this shit on me, by surprise randomly on the show. So Tuesday we have a production call. We're going to go over it. So I'll know more then, but I won't talk about it because it'll kind of ruin it for everybody. But and I'm sure it will be nothing that you haven't heard on the podcast. So if you listen to the podcast, don't tune in, I guess.
Well, no, that's the smart part, though, because then it's almost you've done the dress rehearsal over and over again, and you really know the beats of the story.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm kidding. But Friday, we have another press conference in Las Vegas. So me, George St. Pierre, and basically the entire 217 card are going to be in Las Vegas on Friday. So we get to have another press conference. Of course, the last time I did a press conference with George St. Pierre in Las Vegas was an eventful one. I don't know if you recall that, Lewis.
Yeah, I do. I remember it was quite the fiasco, as they say.
Yeah, where I showed up late. Listen, I'd had a heavy night before. We all know about that. And George was... he was taking pleasure in saying, "Oh my God, you have been drinking. Look at you. You look like Vegas got the better of you." And I'm like, so fucking what, George? I'm 38 years old and I'm in Las Vegas. If you're man enough to fight me anytime soon, I won't be drinking. When I'm training for a fight, I am very, very dedicated. But of course, I'm not training for a fight because I don't know whether it's because George needs to clear the steroids out of his system before he enters the USADA testing pool. You know, I don't know what the reason is, but that is definitely a potentially valid reason, because you got to get tested for 6 months before you come back. And he did his best to delay it. So, you know, maybe that was why. But anyway, we weren't training. We went to an award show, and, you know, one drink led to another. But this time I am in training camp. I'll be flying in with Jason Perillo and getting a little training session in the morning. And I'm actually looking forward to coming face-to-face with George St. Pierre. I've got a bone to pick with that little bastard.
Why? What happened?
So last Friday, as I said, it seems that we have a camera crew on us all the time. Friday, we had the UFC filming some, I don't know, some promo stuff, countdown stuff, whatever. Filmed the sparring, then we went to a hotel room and we did like a long interview. And in the interview, George said that I would rather lose a fight and make money than win a fight and make no money. He said Michael is the type of fighter that would rather get £10 million or £100 million and lose a fight than make nothing and win the fight. And to which, of course, you know, of course I'll take $100 million, you little shit. Don't be stupid. But I want to win fights. And it actually did offend me. That's why, I don't know if you saw my Instagram, I put a little post on this morning. Check it out if you got your phone in front of you.
Yeah, let me do it right now.
You know, it's basically saying that I'm only in it for the money. Now, of course, we're prize fighters. Of course, we're all in it for the money. That's why we do it. And anybody that says, oh, I'm doing it to test myself, or no, this bollocks, they're a liar. They're lying to themselves, or they're stupid. This is a very dangerous sport that we do. I do it for the money. I do it to look after my family. I do it because this is the best thing, the thing I'm the very best at. And I believe I'm one of the greatest mixed martial artists ever. That's why I do this. Yes, the money's fantastic, and that's why I do it, but I will never quit. And that's why if you look at that Instagram picture, it's me in my fight with Anderson Silva, completely covered in blood. And, you know, there's no quitting me. And for him to suggest that, the cheeky bastard, I look forward to punishing him and making him quit on the night in November.
Yeah, this is a fucking brutal picture, dude. This, if you go to Mike Bisping.
That was obviously after Anderson Silva landed that flying knee at the end of round 3.
Yeah, and then you came back and won round 4 handily, like on everyone's scorecards, won round 4, which was the ballsiest thing in the world. And also, it's very easy for George St. Pierre to say when he's been making millions and millions and millions of dollars for years.
Yeah, exactly. Shame on you, George. How dare you make all that money? Yeah, no, for him to suggest that is just absolutely ridiculous, you know. And it did piss me off a little bit. So I'm looking forward to seeing him, and it has fueled the fires a little bit. So you know, I have got a bone to pick with him, and I'll get in his face and let him know on Friday and on Wednesday and from here on out. You know, the gloves are off. I don't know why, but it's only a little thing, but it really pissed me off.
Yeah, well, look, here's the thing, man. He's finally doing something interesting at the very least. He's pissing off his opponent. Usually he doesn't do that. I've never seen him piss off an opponent before.
Not really, because the countdown people said, Jesus Christ, Mike, said, will you do me a favor? Will you please try and do something, because George is so boring, okay? Doesn't give us anything. And I was like, oh, okay. So basically, I got to sell myself out and be a dickhead. And they were like, no, just be you.
Yeah. You know what you got to do? You got to get the Canadian flag. You got to wipe your ass with it and then light it on fire.
I think I've insulted enough people's flags.
Whatever, dude. That's your thing now. That's your MO. What crazy shit?
That's not my thing. I don't want to be known as the guy that disrespects people's flags. Besides, Canada is part of the Commonwealth. I've got no beef with Canada. I've got no beef with Cuba either. I have nothing against Cuba or Yoel Romero for that matter.
I think that should be the thing that you do every time is you come up, every time you have an opponent, you take their flag and you do something else to disrespect it every single fight.
Well, I mean, as I said, I will repeat what I just said. I have no problem with Canada. If anything, Lewis, living in America, I can't help but feel the negative sentiment that you guys have towards Canada as Americans. What is that all about?
You know what it is? You know what? I'll tell you what the problem is.
Now it's your turn to talk shit about Canada.
I have no fucking problem. Yeah. I have no problem talking shit about Canada. I have no problem talking shit about any country because, in my opinion, these are all just silly.
What about George St. Pierre?
These are all just silly lines, right? And it doesn't really matter. So when people have like this nationalistic pride and they freak out over I'm like, who gives a shit? It was where your parents fucked. You know, so I like to be provocative and I like to talk shit. So yeah, I'll talk shit about Canada. I'll tell you what the Americans' problems with Canada is.
Please.
Canada is like the nerdy older brother who always has his homework done, always has everything, his room tidy. And then you're like, dude, come on, man. You're just fucking making my life more difficult because you guys are these fucking goody two-shoe nerds and we have to sit here and look like assholes. So I think that's why Americans don't like Canada. They're just a bunch of nerds.
But that sounds like a great place to live. If I had to pick like somebody's shitty room or the room where somebody always kept it tidy. By the way, I'm just using your description. I would pick the room where the guy kept the place tidy. Now, I'm not saying America's not tidy. I live in Orange County, for crying out loud. It's a beautiful area. But you're the one that's making that analogy.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's not true because I know you, Michael Bisping. You're a little punk rock. You're a little bit rock and roll. Okay? You don't want to be uptight with a stick up your ass all the time, all right? You want to go every once in a while you want to go into a trap house and do some fucking meth with some homeless people,
Yes, just this last weekend I was hanging out with a bunch of homeless people experiencing the finest meth that they had.
Of course.
Just thank God it's in and out your system nice and fast, and USADA haven't been any time lately.
Do they test for meth now? Do they test for all the drugs?
They do. I mean, okay. We're talking about USADA. I've been tested twice in this training camp, and I guess they got to give up because they never get a sniff of anything with me, never. And it costs a lot of money to send those agents out here. So I don't know. I'll probably get another visit or two throughout the training camp. I want to know how many times have they tested George St. Pierre, because I was training with someone recently who shall remain nameless, and he was telling me that he was on something. He's not part of my regular team, but I couldn't help but notice the massive amount of muscle that this person had, and I was like, wow. I said, come on, don't bullshit me. What are you taking? And he told me, he was very frank about it. This guy doesn't fight in America.
He said he was taking steroids. This guy, he admitted.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he doesn't fight in America. He fights out in Europe, and I was like, holy shit! Since the last time I saw him, he was huge, and I was like, I said, listen, no offense, mate. I said, but you're fucking taking something. What is it? Don't bullshit me. And I've never heard of it, but he said it's suspension something. And as I say, I'm very naive when it comes to steroids, but he said it's in and out your system in one day.
Wow.
One day, and I was like, holy shit! I didn't even know such things existed. I really didn't. That's how naive I am.